Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to talk about the real reason Chris Pine and Audrina Patridge broke up. Let's get right into it. Audrina Patridge and Chris Pine's late-aughts romance was brief, but it left an indelible impression on Audrina. The often forgotten celebrity couple first met in 2009, with Patridge revealing on the Hollywood Raw podcast in 2021 that they dated for a few months. Back in 2009, The Hills star and the Star Trek actor sparked romance rumors when they were spotted spending time together in Los Angeles. At the time, Patridge played coy when asked about Pine during an interview with Ryan Seacrest, telling the host on his radio show, "Ryan, my lips are sealed. I am not talking about this." However, in a 2021 episode of the Hollywood Raw podcast with Dax Holt and Adam Glynn, Patridge was asked to name the biggest celebrity he's ever gone on a date with, whom the world might not know about. Patridge said, "I mean, Chris Pine." Patridge then added, "This was whenever his movie just came out and I had just finished Sorority Row. So we were all in Vegas for an award show, and Rumor Willis and the whole cast. He came up to me and introduced himself to me and gave me his number." She then recalled, "All the girls were kicking me under the table like, 'Oh my god, you don't know who that is?' I'm like, 'No.' She then added, 'They're like, 'That's Chris Pine.' I was like, 'Oh, he's hot.'" Patridge went on to note that she and Pine hung out more than a few times and went on a date. Despite Patridge's claim that she didn't know who Pine was at the time, they ended up meeting more than a few times. Patridge described Pine as charming and gentlemanly, even allowing him to kiss her with squid ink on his lips. As she told Hollywood Raw, after one particular date at an Italian restaurant, at which Pine ordered black squid pasta, he said to Patridge, "You're so beautiful. Can I kiss you?" Patridge consented, recalling, "Whatever, I didn't care. It was a great kiss." Although Patridge told Hollywood Raw that the romance kind of dissipated over time, she was open to the possibility of trying again with the newly single Pine, saying, "I mean, you never know." Audrina Patridge's reality fame ended her 2009 relationship with Chris Pine. The reality star described how the pair's very different lifestyles clashed during their brief romance in her new memoir, Choices, To the Hills and Back Again. Patridge wrote, "He didn't like going out and being followed by the paparazzi. He was an introvert and very focused on his acting." She then added that she loved to go out and was usually filming The Hills. Patridge described how cameras always found her and Pine despite their best efforts to avoid them, with Patridge even being photographed leaving Pine's house. After a few months, the two realized that things were not going to work out. As Patridge wrote, "Given my filming schedule and the fact that there was no way Chris would want to be on The Hills." That said, she maintained that she has nothing but fond memories of Chris, calling him one of the most normal people she ever met in LA. Patridge also reveals in the book that Pine was not the only Hollywood A-lister who allegedly pursued her romantically. According to the reality star, Leonardo DiCaprio once asked for her number in Las Vegas, but the two could never coordinate their schedules according to Life and Style. Patridge wrote, "Leo was very private, and with the constant filming for The Hills and the paparazzi attention, it just felt too tough to make anything work." Elsewhere in the book, Audrina also detailed an alleged frightening physical incident with ex-husband Corey Bohan, who denies the allegation, and reveals how she was able to overcome the most difficult period of her life. Patridge writes in Choices about Bohan, "I knew he'd been cheating on me with random girls for years." She then wrote, "I had stumbled upon naked pictures and dirty text messages in his phone. I had received tips and proof from strangers on social media, and I had heard it from friends who were there with him on the late nights and bender weekends." She then continued, "Just like the nightmare wake-ups, it hurt a lot at first, but now, having been with Corey for so long, I felt completely numb." She continues, "I was so focused on surviving day to day that it truly didn't matter what Corey did as long as it didn't directly affect me, or, more important, our daughter Kira." In Choices, Patridge describes the moment she claims Bohan put his hands on her while she was holding Kira. She shared, "He got closer and closer, his body changing as he got angrier." She then wrote, "His shoulders squared, his chest puffed, his eyes widened and intensified. I felt like the bathroom was closing in on me. Without waiting for his response, I focused solely on getting Kira out of the room. She was just sitting in my arms, eyes wide, looking back and forth between us quietly." Speaking to People ahead of the memoir's release, Patridge said the divorce was a gradual build-up. She said about the divorce, "Going through it in public is even harder. Everything was released publicly, so I felt like I had to include that in my book because it was such a big part of my life." That's it for today. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you never miss out on any future content we'll produce for you guys. We're signing off now, but we'll be sure to catch you all in the next one.